She started off her career as an executive chef, one of the few women to do that. She's reached great culinary heights and has now turned her attention to passing that invaluable knowledge on to her students. ETV Power Women is proud to present Iyanthi Goonewardene. Hi, and welcome to ETV's Power Women. You've heard the introduction to our guest. Welcome to the show, Iyanthi. It's lovely to have you here today.
Yes, thank you.
Iyanthi, I wanted to ask you, I mean, you know, the culinary world, especially at the executive chef level, is very male-dominated. How did you get into it, and what made you kind of decide that this was a field that you wanted to pursue?
Yes, Minoli, this is something very common actually. A lot of people ask me, how do I survive in this male-dominated profession?
Yeah.
Actually speaking, you have to be firm.
Right.
And if you are assertive,
yeah.
So it's very easy to survive. And also, I feel, you know, in being a woman,
yeah.
It's an advantage.
Right,
because
okay.
in our society, they respect women a lot.
Yes.
So it's very easy to control people, and also we respect, if you respect people,
okay.
if you treat people with respect,
yes.
in return they respect you. So I feel you know, that is very, very important.
Yeah.
So you have to treat people like human beings.
Yeah.
So then there's no
There's
problem, no issue. Gender was not
Never
an issue at all.
Okay, well that's good to hear. So how did you, I mean, tell us a little bit about how you kind of got into this. I mean, did you go to hotel school, or how did it come about? I mean, did you always have a love and passion for food?
Yes, actually I started at Ceylon Hotel School.
Okay.
This was an accident.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know even what a chef profession is.
Yeah.
So after, you know, going to hotel school, so
yeah.
I wanted to specialize in housekeeping.
Right.
Not in cookery.
Okay.
So that's why I said it was an accident.
Yeah.
So after I got married, only I got into this profession.
Okay.
So my husband is also a chef.
That's right.
I think
yeah.
that was a great influence.
On you, okay. Yeah. And I mean, chefs sort of being very methodical and organized, and was that something that you always had within you?
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
You have to be very well organized and
yeah.
methodical, otherwise you can't run, because chef is not only cooking.
Yeah.
You know, it is a management job.
Yeah.
You have lots of managerial work there. So therefore you have to be very methodical, otherwise you can't do this job.
And very organized, yeah. So you were the executive chef at the Grand Oriental. How did you get to such a, I mean, you know, that's quite an exalted position. You must have had a lot of competition for that. Tell us a bit about your journey really into that.
Right. I joined Grand Oriental Hotel in 1998.
Right.
So there was no executive chef at that time.
Okay.
So I joined there as the sous chef.
Okay.
Then at this moment, I must thank the general manager at that time, Mr. Untitled. He is the one who gave me this break. And actually, I came up to the executive level position with a lot of commitment and hard work.
Yeah, it must be. I mean,
yes.
Because, you know, that sort of position, I suppose you're almost on call 24 hours a day, because you've got so many different...
Yes, being a chef, there's no cut-off time.
Yeah.
You know, so that is why most of the women, females, don't like to take up this job.
Right.
Because
of the hours.
Hours, yes, working hours. And I was at great advantage because my husband was also a chef.
Right.
And he really, and we had a very good understanding.
Yeah.
So I had enough freedom to
do this. So, for example, give us at the Grand, what would a typical day involve as being the executive chef?
What do you mean by that?
Like, what would your typical work day be like? Just so that people kind of get an idea of how demanding that job would have been.
Yes. as I told you, there's no cut-off time, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you start working in the morning, sometimes I work till about 11:30, 12 in the night also, because there are sometimes the hotel gets very busy.
Yeah.
So you can't just leave your responsibilities and go. So I have to be there. And also it is a very colonial type hotel.
Yes.
A very old, one of the oldest hotels in Sri Lanka. So the people, because first when I joined Grand Oriental Hotel, a lot of people said it's a highly unionized place, and you will find it very difficult.
Right.
But so I took that challenge.
Yeah.
And but when I went there, I didn't actually feel that way.
Okay.
Because I believe in people.
Yeah.
And so they were very cooperative,
right.
and I didn't have any problem at all. So I worked very well with them.
And tell us a bit, so you've left the Grand Oriental and you've started your own culinary school. I mean, you know, that must be incredible. What's it like to kind of shape the young minds of tomorrow's culinary future?
Of course, I get a lot of satisfaction in the end of the day, because we get people from very remote areas.
Right.
Very, very remote areas. Actually, these people can't speak a single word of English, and that's why we actually provide them with English classes and also. So, I feel, you know, after completing the course, they can find a very decent job,
right,
and with a decent salary. Some people, of course, they go abroad once they complete their courses, and also I see I can uplift their lifestyle, and in return, actually, they also help their families, and you know, I see a lot of improvement in them.
Great. So I mean, tell us a little bit about the school. I understand you have 3 different courses. Is it for sort of people who have left hotel school, or could you do a course before? Or how does it work?
Yes, most of them come from after O-levels and A-levels.
Okay.
They know nothing about cookery or bakery. So actually I run 3 streams.
Yeah.
Cookery, bakery and food and beverage.
Okay.
And once they complete, actually they are in a position to find a job.
Okay.
So that's the greatest achievement that I see from them.
From that,
and also culinary is something that it's not a monotonous job actually.
It's constantly evolving, because there are so many new techniques.
Yes.
So many.
And also you are actually dealing with people and events.
Yeah.
So that's why I said it's not monotonous. So it is very interesting all the time, and molding people gives you a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah.
And also these people are from remote areas, as I told you before. So when we actually laid a very good foundation for these people, and we ultimately it is our responsibility to mold responsible people, you know, socially responsible people to the society.
Great, wonderful. Well, that's a great place for us to take a little break. But for all of you watching at home, make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to be right back with lots more. So don't go away. Hi, and welcome back to ETV Power Women. We're here with Iyanthi Goonewardene, and she's just been telling us a little bit about what life is like as a chef, and also a little bit about the culinary school that she's founded. Iyanthi, I wanted to ask you, do you have a motto that you live by in and out of the kitchen? Is there any sort of personal ethos that you have?
Achieving excellence through passion.
Through passion. Okay, well that's lovely actually. And which kind of leads me back to this thing of chefs being and having to be really perfectionists, because it sort of comes with the territory. It's part of the job.
Yes, actually you are dealing with people.
Yeah.
So you have to, especially you have to be concerned about the hygiene aspect.
Yes, absolutely.
Because you are dealing with food and people. And also if you are doing with passion, if you are doing anything with passion, so that excellence comes naturally
through. And you know, sort of cuisine today has kind of moved on, and in fact when you go out actually and you go out to eat and you go to these sort of lovely restaurants, it's almost as though you're eating art off a plate. Was this something, were you always sort of artistic, or did you pick up on those skills throughout your culinary journey?
Yes, of course. Actually, you have to visit culinary exhibitions, and
Right.
you have to actually now the technology is very what
It's
is it?
advanced.
Advanced,
almost, yeah.
yes, advanced. So it's easy to pick up the information,
Yeah.
and also you can improve your culinary skills a lot, because watching certain programs like chef there's Australian program
MasterChef, which is,
yes.
I love that show.
Yes. So not like nowadays, actually young
Yeah.
people pick up their knowledge from the internet and the
Yeah.
books, and there are various avenues that they can actually
That they can sort
pick
of
up,
learn,
yes.
and it's fascinating actually. I think that's sort of, cooking is one thing that everyone's interested
Yes.
in. Can you remember the first dish that you made, the first thing that really inspired your love of cooking?
Okay. All right. You know, I didn't cook when I was at home, because
Okay.
actually I joined hotel school after A-levels.
Yeah.
Until such time I was,
Never in the
yes,
kitchen at all.
yeah, and also I was not interested.
Yeah.
So after I got married, I had no option but to cook.
Okay.
For my husband. So
Yeah.
when I make food, actually he started really appreciating it, praising it.
Okay.
So actually that gave me a lot of
Confidence to kind
yes, confidence, and also he being a chef,
Yeah.
when he appreciates my food,
Yeah.
I really it gave me a lot of passion and for cooking.
Yeah, and you thought, okay, well, this is something that I
Yes.
want to do. So he was very encouraging.
Yes, of course.
Of you.
He's a role model.
Okay. Oh wow, that's lovely to hear. So does who's the better cook in the family?
We both don't cook.
Oh really? You don't? At
No,
home?
no, sorry. I was just joking. No, actually, he doesn't cook at all. I
Yeah.
have to do the cooking.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So tell us a little bit more actually about your culinary school and your students. Do you, after they've graduated, do you help them look for employment? Is there?
Yes, I have a very good network with
Yeah.
the hoteliers, and also once they complete their courses, it is not compulsory, but I feel it's my duty to
Yeah.
find jobs. So most of them are working abroad. Actually, I would say it's been now more than 8 years.
Okay.
Right. During that period, I have trained more than 4,000 people in our
Wow.
school. So out of 4,000, I would say at least 20% working abroad,
Okay.
and others also working locally. And
Yeah.
and now the greatest thing is now there are a lot of job opportunities available, both locally and internationally. So
internationally as
it's
well.
easy to find jobs.
And have you actually sort of visited a hotel or a restaurant and had a sort of past student
Of course,
cook for
yes.
you?
Wherever I go, I meet my students.
And that must be very satisfying as well,
Yes,
to
yes,
sort of,
yes.
realize that
Very nice to see them. Yes.
that you've helped them
Yeah.
along. We've sort of touched on this before, and I sort of asked you, what it was like working in such a male-dominated field. But do you find that there are a lot more sort of women coming through wanting to be chefs?
During my period, actually, I didn't see many females, but
Yeah.
actually not like those days. A lot of females take up this job.
Okay.
But when I was in Australia, I found 50-50.
Okay. Well,
Right,
that's
because
good, yeah.
unlike in Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka, of course, actually most of the female don't like this job, because actually I think the husbands depend
More on them to
more.
run the homes.
Yes, yeah. So therefore they don't go for jobs after marriage. They give up,
Okay.
most of them, and otherwise, of course, a lot of females are here in this
And are you
profession.
seeing that more, that with the younger generation, a lot more are
Yes,
coming through?
yes.
And that's encouraging, actually.
Mm.
And do you find that, when it comes for them to sort of gain employment or to look for jobs, is there an equal balance? Is it harder for them, or?
No, it's very easy actually.
so-
in this trade, actually, there's a huge demand for female
For
chefs.
female chefs.
Yes. So
Okay.
they find it very easy to find jobs, because not like those days, chefs are not working in the back house. They go
Yeah.
out and talk to the people,
Yeah.
and they are more like salespeople.
Yeah.
So therefore, female stand a good chance to find jobs in this field.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to take another little break now, but for everyone watching at home, don't go away, because when we come back, I'm going to speak to Iyanthi about her family and find out about the people really behind this successful woman. So we'll see you right after this short break. Welcome back to ETV's Power Women. I'm going to speak to Iyanthi a little bit about her family and really find out about the people behind her success, or who've helped her and encouraged her along the way. Iyanthi, what were you like as a child growing up? Were you...
My childhood was very tough.
Okay.
Well, I was born to luxuries, but
Yeah.
I didn't have that when I was at the age of 7, 8 years.
Okay.
I had a very tough time because my
Right.
father was a businessman,
Yeah.
and you know the nature of the business.
Yes, yeah.
So I learned a lot from that
Experience.
difficulties.
Yeah.
So that is why that helped me to see my students
Yeah.
from that angle, and I help my students a lot. And the difficulties, I don't think that was a negative thing that happened to me
Yeah.
in my life, and it gave me a lot of courage and confidence to face problems and obstacles in life.
Okay, wow. And do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 3 sisters and 3 brothers.
Okay,
the
wow.
youngest
So
in the family.
large family. And are any of them also sort of culinary experts?
no,
Nobody
no,
else.
no.
So, and you met your husband, as you've told us earlier, was a chef as well. How did you meet him? Was it
Oh,
through this love of cooking?
yes.
Or?
No, actually, in hotel school,
Yeah.
when you complete one course, you have to go back to get training.
Okay.
So industrial training. So I
Yeah.
went to Neptune. That was a very lucky place. That was my first job.
Okay.
And I met my husband there.
Okay.
He was the chef there.
He was a chef there. Okay,
Yes,
wonderful.
that was a love affair. And then
Yeah.
we got married and migrated to Australia.
Okay. Oh, so how long were you in Australia?
4 years.
Okay. And you worked while you were there as well?
Yes, I did study in
Okay.
this field, and also I got a chance to work there also in this field.
Okay, wonderful. And you have a daughter,
Yes.
and with both parents being chefs, has she inherited this sort of love for cooking? Is she a good cook?
Yeah, no, she's not a very good cook,
Yeah.
but actually she's very much interested in cooking.
Okay.
So she's actually learning how to cook, and
Okay.
she just finished her A-levels
Yeah.
and planning to do a university studies in
Okay,
Australia.
wonderful. Do you think that this coming back and helping you with the school after she finishes university will be
Yes, of course.
something
yes,
that she'd,
yes.
she'd be interested
Yeah.
in? And apart from sort of your cooking and stuff, what do you do in your sort of when you have spare time? How do you relax? Because the job that you're in and the field that you're in is must be pretty exhausting.
Yes.
How do you unwind?
Well, I like reading,
Yeah.
and apart from that, actually, I do housework.
Yeah.
So that's how I spend my time.
That's how you spend your time. And what about your husband? Tell us a little bit about him. I understand that he was a chef, but he's now moved on.
Yes, actually, he's now attached to Aitken Spence. He's a director there,
Okay.
and he's a very nice person. Actually, he has a
Yeah.
lot of good qualities, and I always look up to him because as a role model.
Yeah.
And I can't be a carbon print of him, but
Yeah.
I take all the good traits that he
That
has.
he has.
Yes.
That's great. And so was it love at first sight when you met at Neptune? Did you think, okay, this is the man for me?
Yes, I would say yes. Yeah.
Great. Well, on that lovely note, we're going to take another little break. But don't go anywhere, because we're going to be back with what we call the confession cam. And we're going to give Iyanthi a chance to see what her friends and colleagues and family have to say about her. So we'll see you after this short break. Hi, you're watching ETV's Power Women, and we're here with chef and culinary expert Iyanthi Goonewardene, and we're going to show her the segment that we call the confession cam. We're going to show you what your friends and family have to say about you, and hopefully give our viewers at home a little bit more of an insight into who you are. So let's take a look at that.
I think she's a very strong personality. What I have seen her, the utmost confidence she has on herself. I think that's her main trait, absolute confidence she has, and whenever she does something, she feels she's right. I mean, unlike me, sometimes you feel, okay, are you right? But she's very, very confident in what she's doing. And I believe when things are down for people, I mean, she is not a person who tries to, show a good face. But when things are bad, you can rely on her. So those are the two main qualities what I have seen in her. Very, very authentic, very straightforward, not complicated. I mean, she tells what she has to say. So she doesn't hide behind anything. I mean, she's straightforward and very strong, and of course will never backtrack on anything.
We've known each other for 20 years, starting from the hotel school days as a student, and subsequently she started working at Neptune, and then marriage, Australia, so many interesting things happened in her life. And yes, we've been very good friends, and always she's shown a remarkable entrepreneurship for herself. She's been driving everybody around her into achieving a lot of things. When she was working at Grand Oriental Hotel, she was the first executive chef the hotel had. She, being a lady, lots of staff members, including suppliers, thought that they will be able to manage her the way they want. But Iyanthi was very strong. She kind of put her rules and regulations down, and nobody could manage anything without her saying, go ahead. She was very good at it and managed the staff extremely well. The GOH had some staff who were very senior. They've been working for a period of time. So they thought things like leave and come in late and will be tolerated by Iyanthi, but that didn't come easy with her at all. She was very firm and exactly told what needs to be done, when, where and how. There are a number of funny events about Iyanthi, but I should not be telling some of those events, yes.
She has this uncanny habit of getting the best out of people. And from the time I have known, she has this habit of shedding light and radiance wherever she goes. She has this ability to get the best out of people unasked, and she puts people into situations where they don't get tired, where it's working and it comes out of them naturally, right? Some people have this God-given thing that they turn everything they touch into gold, right? Some people have the unfortunate thing that everything they touch turns into ashes, right? Mrs. Iyanthi Goonewardene has that habit where everything she touches turns into gold. And I pray and I wish that she will go from strength to strength in this wonderful endeavor what she's doing to help people. And the kindness and the assurance, she's putting so many people on their feet. She's helping so many people with livelihoods, with jobs. And I pray and I wish her all the best in whatever she does. And we will always stand by her and support her in whatever way we can.
That was lovely, actually, to hear. How do you feel having heard all those wonderful comments about you?
Yes, I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah. They all had such lovely things to say, and I think that the main thing that came through is that you're a very sort of strong a strong woman. I think, especially in the industry that you're in, you really need to be.
Yes. You have to be firm and strong.
Yeah, and I like the bit about the suppliers and how you manage them instead of them trying to manage you. Right, well, we're going to take another break after that lovely look at the confession cam. When we come back, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. We like to call them the dreaded 10. And I just want the first answer that pops into your head. So we've got that coming up after the break, so don't go away. We'll see you soon. Hi, and welcome back to ETV's Power Women. We've come to the final part of our show, which is the dreaded 10 segment, where I get to put our guest on the spot a little bit and make them squirm. So, Iyanthi, are you ready for the questions?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Number one, who's the better cook, you or your husband?
Me.
Okay, that's good. If you hadn't chosen this profession, what would you have liked to have done?
Housewife.
Yeah, you wouldn't have gone into any other business? Okay, great. If you were able to die and come back as a person or a thing, what or who would it be?
A chef.
A chef. Really, you'd come back? So that's the only thing that you want to do in life? Would you have given up your job for the man of your dreams?
I don't understand that.
Like, if the man of your dreams said, okay, it's either me or work, what would you have done?
No, I won't.
You wouldn't, okay. What do you do to impress other people?
Well, I'm very straightforward
Yeah.
and genuine, that's it.
And that's yeah, that should impress them. If your best friend confided in you that she had cheated on her husband, what would your first response be?
Think in a human angle and forgive.
Yeah, okay, great. How many times does your phone have to ring before you answer it?
Maximum 3 times.
Maximum 3, okay, great. For you, what's the worst feeling in the world?
Sad.
Yeah.
Sadness.
Sadness. What would you say is your biggest regret?
Being without a job.
Yeah. Where do you find true inspiration?
In you.
In yourself.
In
Okay,
yourself,
good
yes.
answer. Well, that's it. That's the dreaded 10, which were fair. We let you off easy. And unfortunately, we've come to the end of the show. But thank you so much,
Thank you so
Iyanthi,
much for giving me a
being here
chance.
with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Pleasure being here too. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And for everybody watching at home, don't forget that we're going to be back at the same time next week with another interesting guest. So make sure you tune in to the program. And if you'd like to learn a bit more about ETV's Power Women, you can always log on to our website at www.etv.lk and search for Power Women. And until next week, goodbye.